At 8 the next morning, Dad delivered Fudge and me to Cousin Howie. Howie was dressed in his park ranger uniform, sitting in the driver's seat of an official golf cart at the entrance to the zoo. You see, Tub, if you were a ranger, you'd get special privileges, too. Eudora sat next to him with Minnie in her lap. The natural beauties sat in back. Hop aboard, boys, Howie called. Really sorry we can't invite you to join us, Tub, but we're at a limit now. Dad didn't look at all sorry he couldn't go with us. Keep an eye on Fudge, Peter, he called as he dashed off. I wanted to run after him. Going to a museum with him and Mom had to be better than this. But before I had the chance, Howie floored it. Hang on, everybody, he sang as he nearly mowed down a group of early morning joggers. Fudge grabbed hold of me as we zoomed along the road through the zoo. At one sharp curve, the golf cart almost toppled. Minnie laughed like crazy. The natural beauty shrieked, and the one next to me, I think it was Flora, grabbed my arm and dug her fingernails into my flesh. On the next curve, she practically ended up in my lap. She cried, Daddy, slow down! But Cousin Howie yelled, Yippee! As he swerved and curved and drove like a total maniac. Yippee! Minnie yelled with him. Finally, Eudora shouted, Howie, think of the example you're setting for our children. Cousin Howie slammed on the brakes. The rest of us fell forward. Got carried away there for a minute, Cousin Howie said. What do we do when we get carried away? We stop and count to 10, the natural beauty said, sounding relieved. And if that doesn't work, Cousin Howie asked. We count to 10 again, the girls said. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, Cousin Howie said. Let's all count together. He took a deep breath, then counted to 10. The natural beauties counted along with him. I don't hear everybody counting, Cousin Howie said, turning to look at me and Fudge. This time we counted along with the others. When we got to 10, Minnie kicked his feet and shouted, Yippee! Again. Good, very good, Cousin Howie said. Later, when we met up with Mom and Dad, Fudge said, Look what Cousin Eudora got for me at the panda gift shop. He held out a tiny stuffed panda. I bought the same one for Tootsie. How thoughtful of Eudora to buy you a souvenir, Mom said. It's not the one I wanted, Fudge said. Yeah, the one he wanted costed $475, I told Mom and Dad. It was life-size. Fudge is such a scream, Flora said. Yeah, we've never met anybody like him, Fauna said. Who has, I thought. And look at this, Fudge said, waving a certificate in Mom's face. I'm an official member of the Panda Poop Club. The Panda Poop Club, Mom said? Yeah, I'm the only one who sniffed the poop and held it in my hands. It was on a paper towel, I reminded him. Even so, Pete. It's true, he was the only one of us to hold it. We all sniffed it, but that was before we knew what it was. We thought it was a peeled sweet potato. It was the same color as a sweet potato. It was shaped like one, too. How are we supposed to know it was poop? It smelled like grass to me. That was before I found out grass and bamboo smell a lot alike. Jane, the panda keeper, had signed Fudge's official certificate. When I get enough money, I'm going to buy my own panda, he told her. Where will you keep him? Jane had asked. In my apartment. I'll have a very big apartment with a panda room, and when it's nice out, I'll walk my panda in Central Park. Mom will cook him sweet potatoes, and I'll have another room filled with bamboo, and I'll take his poop to school for sharing and let all the kids sniff it, especially Richie Potter. Now Fudge began to tell Mom and Dad everything he'd learned about Panda. Even though they look soft and cuddly, they're still wild animals. They have claws and sharp teeth. You know why their heads are so big? Because pandas are born to chew. Their jaws are so strong they can crunch bamboo, and they use their hands like raccoons do. It sounds like you learned a lot this morning, Dad said. I did. Jane said I was a very good listener. And guess what else? We got to feed carrots to the pandas. Everyone but Minnie. He ate the carrot himself. Cousin Howie offered to drive us to the train station in his van. On the way, we passed the White House. If Dad or Mom were president, I thought, this is where we'd live. I'd ask Jimmy to come down to hang out. We'd bowl and swim and have sock slides down the longest hallways. Then we'd see movies in the screening room, and the family chef would make us popcorn. I'd give just one interview a week, maybe two, on MTV or Nickelodeon. I'd have an opinion on everything, especially books, video games, music, the internet, and movies. When Peter Hatcher speaks, young America listens. That's what they'd say about me. I was enjoying my fantasy until Fudge leaned close and whispered, I wonder what the president said. About what? About the banana on that lady's suit. Probably he didn't even notice, and if he did, he'd be too polite to mention it. You know what, Pete? Fudge said, looking out the window of the van. Someday this will all be mine. What will be yours? This place, he said, as we passed the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. It'll be called Fudgington then. Yeah, don't hold your breath, I told him. I never hold my breath, Pete, unless I'm underwater. When we got to the train station, Dad asked Cousin Howie where we were headed next. New England, Tub, Cousin Howie said, pulling into the passenger drop-off area. I noticed Dad had stopped trying to get them to use his real name. And a few weeks from now, Cousin Howie continued as we got our stuff out of the van, we'll be showing our little tribe the sights and sounds of your city. I dropped my suitcase. Our city? Only problem, Howie said, is that we haven't been able to find a place to stay. Maybe I can help, Dad said. Why, thanks, Tubby. We'd love to spend a few days in New York with you and your family. What I meant, Dad said quickly, is that maybe I can help you find a hotel. A hotel? Howie asked. Now, why would we prefer a hotel to staying with you? Our apartment is small, Mom said. The boys share a divided room, and Tootsie's crib is in the remodeled closet. Not a problem for us, Cousin Howie said. We have our camping gear right here in the van. Never travel without it. The Honolulu hatchers are ready for whatever comes their way. Yes, but you see, Mom began. Eudora covered Mom's hand with her own. We're family, Anne. Wait till you see how little space we take up. We're used to making ourselves practically invisible, aren't we? Minnie Farley growled. Eudora said, he's showing you how well he fits into the forest. West 68th Street isn't exactly the forest, I thought. Up with the sun, Cousin Howie said, and asleep with the moon. You'll hardly even know we're there. Mom had this weak smile on her face as she looked at Dad. Just say no, I begged inside my head. Well, Howie, Dad said, you'd be more than welcome at our place. Just let us know when. And give us some warning, I said, so I can arrange to stay at Jimmy's, I was thinking. What Peter means, Dad said, is give us some warning so he can clean up his room. Isn't that right, Peter? Dad looked at me and I got the message. Yeah, I said, sure, that's exactly what I mean. Okay, so friends, tomorrow's chapter 10, Bird on Strike. Oh no, I hope nothing's wrong with Fudge's bird.